Yeah, there's a Reaper guard in the front of the ship and a Reaper guard in the back of the ship. And we'd be plenty happy to not take... Oh shit! Oh my god! Ah! Alright, well, we have enough Cyclops health. It shouldn't kill us. Hey everybody, Cougar here, back with day 6 of our beginner's quick start guide for the amazing underwater survival game Subnautica. Today we're going to start thinking about building a Cyclops. I say thinking about because this is going to be a multi-day project that is actually going to require us to accomplish a couple of other things before we even start thinking about, before we even consider actually building the Cyclops. The first thing that we're going to need to do, obviously, is find and scan the Cyclops fragments. I've found that the easiest way to do this is to be able to get over near the Aurora. There are a lot of them located over there. In order to get near the Aurora, we're going to have to create a radiation suit. And before we go over near the Aurora, we are going to want to build ourselves a welder so that we can actually repair the Aurora as long as we're there. So let's... in that long list of things that we have to get done, let's start by building a welder. Let's dive in and check our life pod for the residue. Under personal tools, we find the welder here. We are going to need magnesium, crash powder, and titanium. 2 of those things are easy to get. The magnesium, we just need some salt. The titanium, easy to find just about anywhere. Crash powder, a little bit more tricky. In order to get crash powder, we're going to have to find ourselves a crash fish and raid its nest for crash powder. Now, I think that I remember seeing a crash fish not too far from the life pod. And yep, there are a bunch of them right down in here. There's a crash fish nest right there. We have to try to lure it out of its nest to chase us, and then we'll try to get away from it as quickly as possible. And we still took some damage, but not too bad. We'll immediately get back down in there and see if there's some crash powder left in the nest, and there is, right there. Alright, that was not as hard as it can be usually to find these crash fish and raid their nests. Is usually a little bit more complicated than that. We were pretty lucky today. Alright, so we've got our crash powder. Now we just need some salt in order to make magnesium. That should not be too difficult to find lying around here. You can see that I think since the last episode I made, they have done a graphics overhaul, a bunch of new textures, and it just looks beautiful.
Emergency. 10 seconds of oxygen remaining.
Everything's very sharp and clear and lovely to look at, more lovely than it usually is. I am very pleased with this little mini update they just did. I think I see some salt right there. Yep. I bet there's some more around here somewhere. There's more salt. I believe we need 3 salt to make magnesium. So keep looking around. We need 1 more.
Emergency. 10 seconds of oxygen remaining.
There's going to be a bunch right down here in that red grass. I can already tell. Wow, where'd he come from? Whoa, a sand shark. Oh, he chased me all the way up from the bottom. Holy crap. Alright then. We are at 50% health. We're gonna run back to the life pod pretty soon and grab ourselves a health pack to heal up. Look, salt everywhere down here. There's 2 more salt. Now we have all the salt we need. We have some titanium, and we have the crash powder, so we can head back to the life pod and make ourselves a welder. In the life pod. Personal. Oh no, first we gotta make the magnesium, so we go to basic materials. 3 times salt deposit makes magnesium. Now check our personal tools, and we have enough, everything we need to make a welder. Alright, as long as we've got our welder now, let's pull it up and repair some of these damaged systems here in the life pod. Status, okay. Hull integrity. Secondary system, gravity anchor online. Looks good. Main power online. Very nice. Let's repair our... Oh, looks like we already repaired that. Maybe we repaired everything. Pick up our first aid kit from our medkit fabricator. Check out on that. As long as we're here, let's get something to eat. Cook up a Reginald. Reginalds are the most nourishing fish in the game, plus they're pungent and smoky. And I happen to like smoky tasting stuff, so perfect for me. Alrighty, now, next thing we are going to need is a radiation suit. So let's go to our personal equipment. Look at the radiation suit. We need lead and fiber mesh. Now we just happen to already have found some lead in our scavenging activities. Lead is found in the nodules in which you find, like this, in which you find the limestone, in which you find titanium and copper. This happens to be copper. For fiber mesh, we are going to need creep vine stuff. So let's go find ourselves a healthy creep vine, not that sick one that we just killed with one swipe. Look how nice the textures are. Pick up 4 of those. Alright, for the resources, use our creep vine material samples to make fiber mesh. 2 of those. I'll show you what the lead looks like in your inventory. That's lead right there. In order to make our radiation suit, we will need 2 times fiber mesh and 2 times lead. Now we have the radiation suit. Before heading over to the Aurora, there are a couple of things you want to make sure you've got squared away. One, you want to make sure you're going over there with a full belly, full of food and full water. You don't know how long you're going to be in there. You don't want to get halfway through the Aurora and realize that you're low on food and there's nothing around to eat. I'm actually going to bring with me an emergency nutrient block and some disinfected water just in case. You also want to make sure that you have built the welder before going over there so that you can repair the Aurora when you get there. But really what we're hunting for are Cyclops fragments. So let's head that direction. We can take the seam off for this. I don't usually like to go over there with the seam off because the Reapers that live near the Aurora love these things.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
They love to chew on them, play with them like chew toys. So personally, I prefer to go in stealthy and just hug the sea floor and try to avoid Reapers that way. But we will risk it. Since we are heading over there, we should, at this point, change into our radiation suit. So let's take our rebreather off, take our still suit off, put on our radiation suit and the radiation helmet. Our radiation gloves are already equipped. Back in the seat. Fragments scattered around here. The Cyclops fragments actually look like broken off chunks of Cyclops, so that's not what we're seeing. Where'd those ones go that I just saw? That's a handy thing to have, though, the modification station fragment. that will allow us to upgrade some of our tools and equipment. Oops. So we might as well. That was a good thing to scan there. Mini mushroom forest here. This is a mushroom forest. Can't hurt to look around here for Cyclops fragments, but I'm not confident of finding them here. And no, I don't see any. Let's keep moving toward the Aurora. To get into the Aurora, there is a hole over on the side here. Go away, Reaper. You see, if he sees this sea moth, he's gonna come right over and jump it, so I'm getting out. He can have my sea moth if he wants it. I just don't want to get eaten up. I'm gonna hug the wall here. Reapers have a hard time grabbing you if you're right up against the wall. Please don't eat my sea moth. Now we're probably pretty safe. He's not going to be able to get us in here. Although I may have gone in by the wrong entrance and now we're stuck. Holy shit. Alright, so this is not the way I intended to get into the Aurora. That Reaper got me a little freaked out and turned around. But we are. So we're coming in basically through the front entrance. The other way to do it will take you in through the back entrance and pop you up right in the reactor room, which is our ultimate destination. But as long as we're here at the front entrance, we're going to run around and see if we can find some loot boxes. They sometimes are scattered around here after the explodes. I don't see any on this side right now. Crabs, yes, they are hostile, but they do not do much damage. I don't usually pay them much mind. Oh, a power cell. That's sweet loot. Yeah, I don't usually worry about these crabs too much. Even if they get you, they're not going to do a lot of damage. Another power cell. Super sweet. A signal. Now, these, once they're equipped in your... Hold on, I'll show you real quick. Just make sure there are no bugs around here. See, we've got this signal right here. What it does is it shows us something like that, possible cable. See that glowing beacon? And you can swap out those signals to have them show you different things. I think I have two signals right now. One for a heat signature, one for that cable. Go check out that cable. You gotta be careful of this shit falling from the ceiling. If that stuff hits you, it will do damage. A lot more than those little freaking crabs. So, you gotta keep your eye on that, even more than the crabs. More loot. Messed up. This is a big repair job ahead of us, guys. 87% of the habitable sections of the ship were rendered uninhabitable during the detonation. 87%. Not much of my beloved Aurora left. This was my home for 2 years away traveling, and this is how it is. Alright, the reactor room. In the reactor room. We must now use our welder to repair the Aurora. Before we do that, we're going to run over here to this and pick up these two pieces. This piece of loot right here, Cyclops power efficiency module. It's the only module that didn't get burned out during the explosion. Now we're going to pull up our welder and start welding these breaches. There are a bunch of them. There are like a dozen, so I'm probably just going to skip ahead.
Further breaches detected.
Alright, this should be the final breach right here.
Attention. High energy particle containment field restored. Auto decontamination sequence initiated. Aquatic radiation levels are estimated to return to safe levels in T-minus 3 days, 10 hours.
Alright, so in 3 or 4 days, all this radiation will have cleared up and we can be exploring the Aurora at our leisure. For now, I will show you the other way that I intended to enter this room. You can also exit through here. So that's the entrance that I really wanted to use and missed. We are on the side of the Aurora, probably about halfway between the front and the back. Let's go retrieve the Seamoth and start looking for our Cyclops fragments to scan.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Thank you, it's good to be back. Not that I'm any safer here on the Seamoth. Hello, Shocker. Alright, well, we are not finding the Cyclops hull fragments where they used to be located, which was over near the front of the Aurora. We can make a little sweep.
Caution, passing safe depth.
Make a little sweep over there, one more little sweep over there. But if we don't see any, we are going to head out to the mushroom forest where I'm pretty sure we can find, ooh, there's something. Cyclops bridge fragments. That might be a bridge fragment right there. Yep. Alright. That's 1 of 3 for the bridge fragments. We also need the hull fragments, of which there may be 3, there may be more, I forget. As long as we found that one here, let's continue to look around in this area. There's something. Another bridge fragment. So clearly there's a Reaper down there somewhere. We do not want to tangle with him today. Hull fragment. Power cell charger. 2 of 3 on the power cell charger. We need 1 more of those. We are making some progress on these Cyclops fragments though, so I do want to hang around in this same area. I just saw another fragment on my right that could be the last power cell charger fragment, so let's jump out and grab that. Yep.
New blueprint acquired.
Alright, well that's a mighty handy thing to have unlocked. The power cell charger will allow us to recharge our power cells and batteries so that we don't have to keep making those over and over again. Grab some more of this lithium as long as I'm here. Can't pass up the lithium. This stuff's good. This looks promising. Another signal. Another sand shark. He got close. If it had been dark out, he probably would have taken a chunk out of me. He's chasing that rabbit ray. Not gonna get it. And another first aid kit. But not having a ton of luck with the Cyclops fragments. I think what I'm gonna do now is head out to... I'll make one more pass down along the side of the Aurora here. And then we're going to head out to the mushroom forest, where I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to find some more Cyclops fragments. And we are coming up on the back end of the Aurora. Another Reaper. Yeah, there's a Reaper guard in the front of the ship and a Reaper guard in the back of the ship. And we'd be plenty happy to not take... Oh shit! Oh my god! Ah! Alright, well, we have enough C1 health. This shouldn't kill us. Guys, try to get away before he comes back for more. Squeeze in here, he's not going to be able to grab us again. Let's jump out and quickly repair this with our welder. Whoa! Yeah, okay, so he can't get in here. Whoa, let's hope. Oh, holy shit. Alright, so we just survived our first Reaper attack together. Wasn't that fun? Don't you want to do it again? Maybe not. Alright, this might be a good time to just go back to the life pod, put on a new pair of shorts. Well, that kind of feels like an episode. We haven't made a ton of progress, although we did make it into the Aurora and repair the radiation leaks in the power setup there. So that's actually been about a day and a half worth of work. We built ourselves a welder, we built ourselves a radiation suit, we made sure that our food and water were topped off, and then we headed off to the Aurora. We repaired the Aurora, and in 3 or 4 days the Aurora will not be putting out radiation anymore, and we can travel over there freely. Of course, by freely I mean watching out for the freaking Reapers at the front and rear of the ship. But we made some progress today. We didn't find and scan all the Cyclops fragments. I didn't expect us to. We will continue that in our next episode. Thanks for watching, everybody. Stay dry.